Penn State going to host Ohio State. All of our lines today, as always, presented by our partners at BetMGM. The Nittany Lions, 3.5-point underdogs against the Buckeyes coming in here. The over-under, 45.5. Chris, you mentioned after the Oregon loss, Ohio State not getting the kind of sack production that we kind of expected from a team with Jack Sawyer and JT Tuiomaloau. But what about Penn State? You look at this team and how they rush the passer. What's your feel for this game coming in?
I mean, I start with this game as it's like the narrative bowl here. You got James Franklin, who's 1-9 against Ohio State. He's 1-12 against top 5 teams. You have Ryan Day, who's 2-6 against top 5 teams and lost to one earlier this year. Somebody's going to get a top 5 win here, and that's going to be a big boost for their resume. So even if both these teams are making the playoff, this is going to be a win for both of these teams that you hang, and all of a sudden, you're in that Big Ten contention by top of the playoff, national championship type of mix. So there is a lot here. And I think back to, I think it was 2018, because Penn State had beaten Ohio State in 2016 on the blocked field goal and all that. Then the next 2 years, Penn State kind of blew a lead and lost a close game. And after that 2018 game, James Franklin read a statement or something after the game where he was like, we're not there and we're going to get there. I need to get us there. I need to take us from good to elite. And 6 years later, they haven't done that. They haven't beaten Ohio State since. But this does feel like the team that is most likely to do it. And it's both because I think Penn State's a really good team, but also Ohio State is showing flaws that we've not seen in an Ohio State team in a long time, namely that offensive line, which is now down to its third string left tackle, I think.
Yeah, I think the thing about this game and Penn State in general is the frustrating thing about last year when Penn State went up against Ohio State and Michigan is those games were not only not that watchable. Anybody who's listening to this pod knows how much I love Big Ten football. Games like this.
For those who don't know, by the way, David is from the South. That's his whole deal. He doesn't like a lot of Big Ten football. And if ever there's an ugly Big Ten game going on, you'll get a text being like, I can't believe these are supposedly top 10 teams or whatever. This is not Big Ten football.
Let the record show that my dad has a degree from Iowa State and a medical degree from Iowa. So there's a little bit of Big Ten in there. But, it's not my favorite.
By the way, I'm not expecting a high-scoring game. This is not the game that's going to convince David that Big Ten football is amazing.
No, it is not. Damien, what do you make of Penn State's defense in this one? They're going to have a big task ahead of them.
Well, the biggest thing is going to be stopping Quinshon Judkins and TreVeyon Henderson. And what Penn State has done up to this point is aligned with doing that exactly. I mean, they're 8th in the country in rush defense. I mean, they're giving up around 91 yards per game, maybe just under 4 yards a carry. And then you look at Ohio State's trajectory with their running backs and the pace that they've been on. I mean, they were complete non-factors against Nebraska. And then even going back before that against Oregon, I mean, they didn't have the production that we're looking for. I mean, we're expecting these guys to be putting up 120-yard games apiece. We're looking at, these guys are averaging around 50, 60, 70 yards a game combined, and that's not a good recipe for success for this Ohio State offense. So at the end of the day, Penn State just has to be Penn State. They just got to be physical with their front seven. They've got to tackle. And I think if they do that, I think the way that their defense is built up and schemed, they shouldn't have a problem against these Ohio State backs who haven't been producing recently.
Mm-hmm. You got a dog for this one, Dame. Is this the first time we've had a tight end barking this year? I think it is.
Yeah, it is, and it's only right? Because
awesome.
National Tight End Day was not too long ago, so we're gonna give this guy some love because Tyler Warren, Penn State tight end, this guy is unbelievable. And when I look at him and when I see how he's built, he's about 6'6", 250 pounds. And when I look at him, I think of Josh Allen, just a big country boy that's just bigger than you, that's faster than you, that's stronger than you, that can jump higher than you, that can really do everything better than you. And when you turn on his tape, you see that. And I think that what allows him to do that and what his biggest asset is that he's so versatile. I mean, you can use him so so many different ways. I mean, he's one of the few tight ends where you can see him line up as receiver and catch a bubble screen or catch a smoke screen, or, he's really good with gadget plays, i.e. against USC. He ran a quarterback sneak where Drew Aller was looking at the sideline pretending he didn't know what he was doing. Then you see him snap the ball and then go down and score a touchdown on the same exact play. It's crazy. This guy is so versatile. His skill set, it fits right in with Andy Kotelnicki and what this Penn State offense wants to do. And I think that we've seen that. I mean, obviously highlighted against USC. And they're making a point of emphasis to get this guy the ball because they know how special he is. I mean, again, 17 targets in one game, that shows that they have a determination to get this guy the ball. And then when you look at Ohio State's defense, they've given up a couple, I wouldn't say huge games to tight ends, but they've given up a couple decent gainers. I mean, Oregon tight end, he had about 60 yards receiving. Nebraska's tight end had around 50. So when you see that tight ends can have production against this Ohio State defense, and then you see what Tyler Warren is, the ability that he has to make big plays, the versatility that he has, you have to expect him to be a dog in this game as somebody that Penn State is going to just try to feed the ball to and be one of the guys that they beat Ohio State with.
And he's got a lot more speed than you would think. And
right.
Chris, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the black cleats and the white socks that just rubs me the wrong way. I feel like the only guys who I've seen play for Penn State in recent history that I still respected them just as a pure athlete, like Micah Parsons, Mike Gesicki, and Saquon, are the only guys who could outrun the black cleats and the white socks. But
hold on, Ubben. What about every Alabama player ever? Because up until a certain point, because for Nick Saban, you couldn't wear anything but black cleats and white socks. So I mean, what are we talking about here?
Maybe it's just Bama. Maybe it's the all whites. Maybe it's just the Bama being bigger than everybody. I don't know. But I feel like when I watch Penn State,
SEC
I'm
favoritism.
just like, these guys just look slow to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Chris, am I alone in this?
Well, the thing I love most about Tyler Warren is that he wears number 44. I think that's a part of it. He's not wearing an 80. He's not wearing an 80 out there, or an 81 or something like that. He's 44. He looks like an H-back, like when he's out there in the way that they use him. But in terms of I will agree up in that. I think Penn State players just don't look as fast as other players. I agree.
It's crazy.
I don't think it's true. And I remember Derek Williams back in the day. Remember really good receiver, number one recruit and stuff like that. Had a big punt return against Notre Dame. He was fast. I don't know if it's the grass that Penn State uses or design, but yes, I agree that they don't look as fast. But then you go look at what they do at combines; they put up big numbers. Yeah.
I think in general, though, these games, are decided on the line of scrimmage. And if you haven't read on The Athletic today, we have a Coaching Confidential as well that Ralph Russo, our new colleague, and Bruce Feldman have worked on. And I talked to some coaches this offseason a little bit about Ohio State, and you heard a lot of, we don't love Ohio State's offensive line. Now they're down to their third left tackle, which is a huge problem. They don't move people. They're not fantastic in protection. And on the road with Abdul Carter, Penn State's front, I don't like this challenge for them. I think Penn State actually breaks through here. I don't think this Ohio State team is nearly as good as we thought they were going to be coming into the season. Penn State has a more competent offensive scheme. That was the biggest issue with them last year is they hung around in the lines. They were right there with them, but they couldn't move the ball.
Nobody could get open.
And when you didn't have open receivers, like Drew Aller didn't play well. I think the quarterback stuff, I think they'll be fine either way.
Well, that's the thing. So, we don't Drew Aller. Is he going to play?
Yeah, we don't know.
He didn't play that second half against Wisconsin.
So I think I butchered the backup. Is it Bo Pribula? I believe it's Pribula.
I think it's Pribula. I think that's right.
All right. I think I called him Pribula. I think I was. I don't know.
That's
either
close
way.
enough.
Yeah, we got it. Either way, I like Penn State to cover here. I think they can win the game. I'm going to pick Ohio State to win. I think Penn State loses in some sort of, a painful fashion here, but I think I'm going to go with Penn State to cover at home and get the job done in Happy Valley. Damien, who you like in this game?
I'm right with you. I like Penn State to cover. As far as who actually wins the game, I could see it going either way. So I'm not sold on Penn State as a team holistically, but obviously what we've seen from Ohio State, I can't be confident enough to say that they're going to win. So I'm just going to say Penn State covers.
Chris, where you at?
But Damien, do you have Ohio State winning straight up though?
I told you I don't know.
Well,
We're gonna
I
take
don't
Penn
know.
State. We're both on
No,
Penn
see,
State
this
to
is the
cover.
thing.
We'll see.
Chris wants his record to keep going up. So he wants people to keep picking.
No,
that
I
way
want to
he
know if
keep
we're all
putting
gonna.
his
I want to
resume
know if
up.
we're all gonna pick the same thing again or not, like we also often do.
Okay. Chris, I'm gonna go Penn State to win this game.
Do it.
I
There you
like
go.
Penn State. I
All
like
right.
Penn State.
So James Franklin is 1-9 against Ohio State, but he is 7-3 against the spread. He keeps these games close. He knows how to at least keep it close. He just doesn't know how to win them. And
That
ultimately,
always keeps
I'm
fans happy.
gonna think that happens again. Ohio State wins. Penn State covers the 3.5. Maybe it's a 3-point game, a field goal, or something like that. Even though they've always kept this game close, and sometimes they blow it in the second half. Until I see it, it's hard to go against it. I'm gonna say Ohio State wins.